So it was Liverpool 2, Manchester United 2, and thereafter there has been so much chat about what is actually up with Trent Alexander-Arnold. Alexander-Arnold.
Well, there's
the back of the Times. There's a player that wouldn't mind having. The back of the Times this morning, Sport. One real tough day for Trent. One real tough day for Trent. Of course, this alludes to the fact that Real Madrid, the Spanish club, now weighing up an official approach and a reported £20 million offer for Trent Alexander-Arnold. Trent Alexander-Arnold had a bit of a howler of a game yesterday. So all the talk afterwards was, is Real Madrid on his mind? This was slot on that.
I think 9 out of 10 people will tell you that it affected him, but I'm one of the 10 that tells you that I don't think that affected him. What affected him is that he had to play Bruno Fernandes and Diogo Dalot, which are two starters for Portugal. Great players, and we have a fantastic player here with Diogo Jota, and he's not even playing for Portugal, so mostly he's not playing. So that tells you how much quality United has. And if these players set themselves to a game, and that is what United once in a while do, then it's very difficult to play against them. But it was clear that Trent had some difficult moments, as we as a team had. But that is also for Trent not the first time. I think for the majority of the games he played for this club, they were very good. But I can't believe if people tell me that he's never played a bad game for this club. So that probably have happened before. And mostly, I think, against quality players like United have, especially in the positions he had to face.
So, Simon, we had plenty of chat thereafter on Sky from Messrs Neville, Carragher, Sturridge, Keown about where is Trent Alexander-Arnold's head at the moment. What makes less sense, losing Trent midway through the season or losing him for nothing come May?
Depends how much of an integral part of the team you think Trent Alexander-Arnold is to be able to go and achieve the ultimate aim of winning the Premier League. I listened to some of the other shows on the way in this morning, the breakfast show, talking about the fact that this situation with Alexander-Arnold is the club's fault. I mean, that makes me, sometimes I listen to fans and I want to tear my own head off. How is it the club's fault if a player doesn't want to sign a contract? If he refuses to sign a contract, won't sign for Liverpool, wants to run a contract down, that's not the club's fault. That's the player's desire and his agent's opportunity. I think it probably would be better to keep the status quo, because I think the status quo has gotten itself into a situation where they're very dominant in the league. I think Conor Bradley is a far better defender than Trent Alexander-Arnold will ever be. And so I think they've got a ready-made replacement for him. I think creatively, some of the balls that Alexander-Arnold knocks off, I saw one particularly early on in the Christmas period against West Ham, which was an unbelievable pass into Salah. But as a defender, we're castigating Alexander-Arnold for his defensive capabilities yesterday. He's a poor defender. I don't know where this sudden ideology has become that, because he came out with some old tripe earlier on in the season about the fact he's got someone that's actually working with him on his defending. He's been a poor defender for some time. Even Sir Gareth Southgate, blimey.
Well done,
wouldn't even put him into the England setup as a defender because he couldn't trust him in that respect. So it wasn't a surprise to me that Alexander-Arnold, but this football mythology that goes around that people defend about short careers, dressing rooms, inner sanctums, and players losing their heads with an opportunity. I'll leave off. You've got an opportunity at some point to go and play for the biggest club, arguably, in world football, in Real Madrid, and somehow that's going to affect your performance. Now, what's going to affect your performance is you didn't have a particularly good game. And you weren't focused and the opposition were better than you when you didn't do your job. It's got nothing to do with your head being turned or your opportunities being created in front of your eyes that are distracting you from anything. It's to do with players not performing on an individual basis. And then a narrative gets spun out by the football fraternity, which his head's not there, is affected. Oh, what, affected by having an opportunity? How about affected by having no opportunities then? That's the worst of the two.
But is it not bound to be the question that's asked? Is Real Madrid and all the speculation about Real Madrid a distraction to Trent Alexander-Arnold?
Well, okay, let's ask the question. Is he a professional footballer? Because the key component of that sentence is a professional footballer playing for one of the biggest clubs in English football.
So, and you think it's nothing to do with the football club as well? I mean, I think Sturridge was alluding to the fact that, well, hang on, why have they not got his agent in and his representatives in to sort this out?
Because he's clueless and he doesn't understand how it actually works.
Who is?
Sturridge. Because ultimately, if you understand the fact that Liverpool don't want to lose Trent Alexander-Arnold, and they certainly don't want to lose him as a free, but you can't drag a horse to water and make it drink. You can give it opportunities to want to do so, and if you've offered him contracts, and I'm pretty damn sure Liverpool would have done, and the player goes, no thank you very much, I'm going to run this contract down because all the opportunity is mine on a free, that's the nature of the constructive transfers now. It's got nothing to do with Liverpool being remiss.
Do you know what? I thought Sturridge had a point yesterday. I don't think he was being stupid at all. I think Carragher has made this situation worse. I think he's waved a flag at it maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago, asked him, do you want to be a Gerrard or do you want to be a McManaman? When you walk the streets of Liverpool, when you finish, how proud do you want to be?
I thought that was sentimental.
So I think what it is, this guy, I mean, maybe Trent has achieved virtually everything, Jim. He's won every single medal you can win at a club side. Maybe he wants to make the next step. I don't think he's a player going onto that pitch thinking about Real Madrid. I think he's thinking about winning for Liverpool.
So was yesterday a one-off?
Yes, such a howler. I think it was just they managed to exploit it. And Dalot, for some reason, and the wing-backs, both wing-backs from Manchester United, decided to attack. They played in a 5 against Newcastle, never came out of their own half. This time, they went after him, and I think it was a bit of a shock. He goes into midfield. Of course, it's going to be a little bit difficult to get back. I don't think he was the only Liverpool player that didn't play that especially well yesterday. I didn't hear anyone talk about Curtis Jones, who was a little bit anomalous, who's been very good, by the way, and Diaz, who went back to the player who was snatching at everything, who was so assured and calm in recent weeks. So he wasn't alone there. But the narrative after was being spun after him.
Suggesting there should be more loyalty shown by a local lad.
But Carragher was playing... Martin's right. Jamie was playing to a gallery. Right, he's playing to a populist gallery of, he should be doing something for Liverpool because he became a Liverpool player through the academy. And
here we are giving gravitas to
that. And like Steven Gerrard. There was also a school of thought that Steven Gerrard might have been out the door on several occasions at Liverpool for situations that worked out slightly differently. So let's not be ridiculous about it. I think the comparison was poor, but it was Carragher playing to the gallery. And Sturridge's point is it's Liverpool's responsibility to have closed this door on Trent Alexander-Arnold. So tell me how you do that then, Daniel. Tell me how you do that to a club that's renowned for capitalising on its assets, renowned for maximising value, that doesn't let people walk out for nothing and doesn't make...
Should they not have given Trent a huge offer maybe 18 months ago?
At which point?
Why did that not happen?
At which point do you do that? And how do you... And you as a player know this. You destabilise the dressing room. All of a sudden, what do you do? Pay Trent Alexander-Arnold £500 a week?
But man, even if you gave him a huge offer last summer and he says no, why didn't they just sell him?
What Sturridge was suggesting
Why didn't they just sell him?
No, just a minute. Sturridge was suggesting that Klopp was the priority. They wanted to get the manager in position. And it's like, okay, do you want me to wait then? I've got to wait, have I, until you sort the manager out? And that seems to be, if they're sort of second best. But it's kind of like, you're having... Carragher was having a go at Salah as well. And all of a sudden now everybody's trained in on, will it be Van Dijk next? Who will it be? They've got to stick together, haven't they, if they want to win this thing?
With respect to Jamie, Carragher made a point about Mohamed Salah not doing any interview, not stopping in the mixer, never talking to anybody, and all of a sudden using the media to leverage a point.
But was that not mischievous, though, to disrupt?
No, it's a statement of facts.
No, but the thing was, if you want Liverpool to win the league, you don't go saying those things and digging that up, do you?
Well, does that mean people get a pass?
I don't think that helps.
I mean, does that mean ultimately that everything should be angled to a way that the player sees the
Salah
world?
is able to score goals and he connects with the fans.
And that's fine.
Trent's a bit more difficult for him, but it's always a world-class pass, isn't it?
Right.
Yesterday, when it doesn't go well for him, we assume the wrong thing. And I think Slot was brilliant. I think Slot, he really impresses me the way he stepped in to protect the player here, because he knows he was focused going into that game.
Well, yes, because ultimately the alternative is if he were to suggest that the player's head was distracted, then he would be questioning the professionalism of the player. So of course he's got to stand the neutral line and turn around and say, "I don't think he was distracted."
He's right to say it so strongly.
Well, perhaps I don't think he was distracted. I think it's, as I said at the top of this little soliloquy,
it's one of the few things we've agreed on.
That players are distracted. It's an excuse for a bad performance. It's a football fraternity excuse. It's a short career. They're distracted by an opportunity. When you get distracted in life is by hardship, not by potential gold. That doesn't distract you. You know that's coming further down the line. So what you do is you impress even more.
Yes.
You don't impress less.
Yeah. No opportunity means you're really in a bit of a corner. But all this stuff about should Trent Alexander-Arnold, Martin, show more loyalty because he's a local lad, is that sentimental tosh?
No, I mean, we understand that because obviously every Liverpool fan wants him to stay there. Because he's the fan on the pitch, isn't he? He's the fan on the pitch. He's the Scouser playing he's living the dream that they want.
But he's the one.
So they want him to continue to do that.
He's the one that wants to leave. If he wanted to stay, he'd be staying.
No. This might just be a ploy, negotiating ploy. No. Maybe he wants as much money as the other guys,
and that's fine. We understand the commercial reality.
And why does the homegrown player, not quite get what a foreign player gets?
I don't know what salary he's on.
Nor do I.
I would imagine he's not going to.
I imagine if they put an amazing deal in front of him, he'd be sorry.
I think he's done.
That's why he's not putting pen to paper.
I've said since the beginning of the season, I think Salah and Van Dijk will stay and Trent Alexander-Arnold will go. And I do think there's an unrealistic expectation upon people that because they came through the academy, they should be there forever and a day. Accept the fact he's been brilliant for you. Accept the fact this is a professional career and ultimately people leave and depart. And one day he's not going to be fit for purpose anyway.
Yeah, but the manager will want to shut down any story about the player not being focused, isn't it?
Well, of course
and
he will.
As Carragher, it's mischievous on his part,
But
really.
But
you want to keep it all nice. You don't want the fans turning on the players.
But did Carragher turn around and say...
Be happy you've got him between now and the end of the season and embrace him.
I accept that point. But I don't remember Jamie Carragher saying that the player was distracted. I take your point about some of the things that he said previously, but the idea was mooted by a whole raft of other people.
The whole last half an hour was suggesting that he was poor and had to be taken off. And it's
poor.
An issue going forward.
He's poor.
Well, let's put it out there this morning. On Trent Alexander-Arnold.
He's a poor defender, Martin,
let's
isn't he?
ask, what Sky couldn't do yesterday was ask the Liverpool fans. So we'll do it. We're going to ask you, the Liverpool fans, this morning. Where's your head regards Trent Alexander-Arnold? Do you expect more loyalty from him because he's one of your own? He's a local lad. What makes less sense, losing Trent midway through the season or losing him for nothing come May? What's your thought on Trent Alexander-Arnold?
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.